I'm probably exposing myself hugely here, but I just can't get my head round which way is which. So got some tups picked out to go to my earlies. So hoping that these boys are fit and ready to get going. Teaser's been in now for a fortnight, so hopefully these boys will be ready to get some action. Just harnessed them up there this morning, put the first colour on, so hopefully the ewes will be ready for them. It is an absolutely miserable morning, but hey ho, might be good for tupping. The rain is no longer warm. Autumn is here. I'm absolutely soaked. Just taking the earlies in to get the tups put in and the teaser out. It is so flipping cold. It is so cold. So if I don't take much, or if you can't even hear what I'm saying, it's because it's so cold. Saldy Rock, Saldy! Come by! Just taking them into this shed here so we can get the teaser out and then I can get the tups in. That'll do, that'll do. So, wasn't sure how they were going to run into here, but actually they're doing alright. That'll do, Rocks, here, out, out. So, get the tups up now. So just taking the tups up in the float here to go out with the earlies who are inside. Just want to add, this is not a dead yow here in the screen, it's actually just a clump of wool and some old nets. So need to catch the teaser now, take him back in the float and let the tups out. Tups are out, so we'll wait and see what they do now. Hopefully Timmy's been doing his job. It is such a miserable day. Back out they go. I should add, I've had to use the tractor because A, it's absolutely peeing it down. So I don't want to take the bike because it's soaking. And also I had 8 tups and they wouldn't have fitted in the small trailer. So the float was hooked on anyway for carting cows out. So I just thought I'd take it a wee bit drier. So we've got some new water tanks put in, one for the shed and one for a field to supply water obviously to the field and the shed. So the tanks are sticking slightly up above the ground just so we can get access to them if we need to. And there's a post put in, but we need to rail it off so that the livestock can't go near it and damage it, etc. So I've got some rails here. I've got saw, nails, etc. So I am going to go and attempt and put up rails round these 2 tanks by myself. So just for a bit of context, I don't know why, and I'm probably exposing myself hugely here, but my whole life I have never been able to read a tape measure. Like, I can read the numbers, but I just can't get my head round which way is which, like which measurement is which. And like if I really thought about it, I would probably be able to figure out roughly. But I would not trust myself if someone said, oh, can you measure something that has to fit exactly in this space or something. No, I would not trust myself to do it because it's never gone well in the past. So I have no idea why, but it's just something I cannot get my head around. Doesn't matter how many times I'm told, I can't figure it out. So yeah, wish me luck doing this. This could be an absolute disaster and I'll never do it again. But if you don't try these things, you never know. So obviously I've done rails before, I've done fencing before, but we've never really done it by myself. So this is going to be an experiment. This is the tank here that we've got. So as you can see, it's obviously, the lid's obviously up above the ground, but we've got strainers and posts already in. So my idea is just to put the rails on now and cut them to shape. Now, it's not going to be anything fancy, I will admit that. I am obviously not a professional. As I've just mentioned, I cannot even read a tape measure. So, I mean, as long as the rails are secure and the stock can't get in, surely then that's fine. I can do it. I can do this. This is going to be my achievement of the day. Let's go do this. It's going to be harder to get a nice finish because these are round. I'm not going fancy. This is my first one. Let's just go practical. Let's just get the flipping thing blanked off. Then we'll worry about trying to be professional. Right. Didn't bring a pen. What did we? Shout out to class for their free pen that I just found in my box. So that's about the middle. That should be fine, surely. As long as it's covered. Who cares about presentation? No one's going to see it. I also don't trust myself with a chainsaw, so an arm workout it is. Honestly, I'm exposing myself hugely here, but I'm just being honest. This is what's happening right now. Maybe I should go to there. I'll go to there. Right, wheel number 1. Gonna be all professional now and measure it. As if I know what this thing says. Oh, would you look at that? It's bang on 100. Well, that was nice and easy. It'll do. It's 100 and I know where the 100 is. That's the main thing. That's all anyone needs to know. I should say these wee offcuts, wherever it's gone. I've got wee rails to sort between gates and strainers, so I'm hoping that these wee bits will do that job. So we don't want to waste anything. Right, how high up do we go now? Could a lamp still pop through that? Here. What do we got? The width of a plank up? 4 inches. Yeah, I would say that looks about right. 4 inches up. I'm metals. So this is how we're looking so far. 3 done. I'm just about to the 4th one. I'm going to give it a gap of 8 inches and then that should land nicely with the top one just bang on the top of the post. Is what I'm thinking. But yeah, it's going not too badly, I'd say. Oof, look at that. I think that's the most accurate I've been all day. One side done. Not too bad if I do say so myself. So a certain someone had decided to start chewing the bandage. This is what's left of it. So it was like half off, so I just pulled that wee bit off over her foot. There. And this is what we've got. Just stand. Let me see. So it looks like it's healing very nicely. So I'm gonna go and get some more stuff to put on this from the farm, just to keep it clean. But they've made a nice job of it, and it's nicely coming together there, you can see. So yeah, gonna go and get some more bandaging just to keep it covered. She's going back to vets tomorrow to get seen, but yeah, just so she doesn't start licking the flipping stitches, because you can see she's obviously very hyper. So try and keep that covered for another wee while. Temporary sort for just now, hoping that she won't try and chew that as much now that her foot's back out. I don't think she liked her foot being in. We've taken the two of them. Hopefully they'll just sit nice and calm. Rox was enjoying a bit of sun before lunchtime, so hopefully this little rascal will do the same. But she seems to be quite full of energy at the moment, don't you? Yes, but you need to be careful. You need to be careful. I still don't actually think she's any idea what she's done, if she's done anything, because she's just not even phased at all. Never mind. Side bits done, and I need to go get more veils because I have run out, but not too bad, I would say. I'm really bored of this now. 4 more veils to do. I just don't like fencing. I just don't like it. I'd rather do livestock work in the rain than do this. The motivation is completely gone. I was all excited to get this done this morning, and can't be bothered. Job done. By no means perfect, but it'll do. It'll keep the stock out. What do you think, girls? Happy? Good job. Some of you might remember this calf. He actually broke his leg when he was just a wee baby. Well, it's second sale time for the autumn 23 born calves. These ones are just the slightly younger ones, slightly smaller ones. We'll head into the mart now. They'll get sold this afternoon. And that's us cleared out. I'm going to head into the mart also and hopefully see these guys sold. And while I was away and Dad was away, we finally got a start to harvest. Yep, that's right, the combine has done 15 or so acres already. and then this is then just moving into the final field. We've only grown a small amount this year, just enough for ourselves. We usually grow for malting as well, but we're very glad we haven't done that this year for a few different reasons. Anyway, Kevin is just going around outside taking off the end rigs, and then he'll start going up and down, and hopefully we'll get it all in tonight before the rain comes. Well, finally getting started to harvest. We've had 2 nice days, 2 nice afternoons, but it's typical when the nice weather comes, everybody wants to go. So we were in a bit of a queue for the combine, but he's here now and we have just 16 acres to go. So as I've said before, well, please excuse the cow shit above my eyebrow, but as I've said before, machinery, crops, not my thing. So basically the combine separates the grain from the straw. The grain goes into the tank in the combine and the straw goes out over the back. And then once the tank's full in the combine, we have trailers that the grain then gets filled into, and then we take the grain back to the farm. We are not big into grain, as I'm sure you can probably tell. We used to grow some for malting, and then we keep just grow enough for malting and enough for ourselves. But malting is not worth it this year. The price is shocking and they're in no hurry to lift it because there is plenty of it. So we're definitely thankful we haven't grown it this year. So at the moment, this is what we've got off of our, I think it's be about 15 acres that we've done so far, and they'll be the same again, hopefully. So yeah, trailers just come back in here and then just cope it. And then back to the field. So considering that we're quite late in the season, it still is it's got a nice golden tinge to it. And it's relatively dry. It's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but it's just for popcorning and bruising anyway. So it'll do the job for the calves through the winter. So really glad that we haven't done malting, because as you can see, we've got our own feeding barley here, which is getting bruised in the next few days. But if we had malting as well, they wouldn't be wanting to shift it, rejecting it, therefore it'd be worth less money, and we would then have to find a home for it as feeding barley. So that would obviously take time, the way the weather is. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm absolutely soaked from just driving a very short distance. The ground is so saturated and dubby that we're going to have to start taking cows in before long for winter. Now, that is scary to think of, because not only does it feel like we've never come out of winter and the cows have only just gone outside, but they now have to stay in until May 2025, which feels like a long time away. They have to stay in because we're in different environmental schemes and we have to keep the stock off the ground until a certain date in May. But also normally the weather's so shocking anyway that they can't really go outside much sooner. So yeah, it's going to prove for a very long winter, and thinking about when the cows do come in and then when they next go out, it'll be May. That is our wedding month, so that is quite scary as well. So you can see here that we've had a wee bit of rain. Now, it really doesn't take much for the river to burst its banks. As I think I've mentioned before, we're not allowed to go near it, we're not allowed to dredge it, we're not allowed to manage it without spending an absolutely extortionate amount of money on it. So unfortunately this field now is just getting wasted, it gets flooded, we can't chance putting stock in it because obviously the river runs so close to the top now. It rises so quickly, it can rise in no matter of time at all, and therefore the stock gets stranded. We do occasionally put pools down here just to tidy it up, to keep the grass down a wee bit, and as you can see here, the bull is in this field at the time. He's absolutely fine. This flooding is by no means extreme. This is nothing compared to what we've seen before. The rain has gone off now, so hopefully the river will go back inside where it's meant to go, and it'll stop running through this field. But you can see it's obviously just running the far side of Razzle there. It's obviously not deep at the moment, but hopefully it, like I say, it'll go back around the course it's meant to go, and Razzle will be fine. we'll get him out of there. But yeah, it's just risen so quickly. There must have been a hell of an amount of rain overnight, and well, obviously there was this morning as well. So, but he's okay. He's on a dry bit of land, so we'll just keep an eye on him. So this is the river that runs along the bottom of the farm, and as you can see, it's just lips out over and comes into our field. It really doesn't run very high from the top anymore. And you can see the force that it goes around that corner at, so it just keeps eroding that bank of ours, and we're losing acres of ground. So obviously the force it comes down with, and then it goes round that corner and then goes back out that corner. But it really doesn't take much to flood this field now. So yeah, it needs to be dredged, it needs to be sorted, but we're not allowed to. Or if we wanted to, we would have to pay an absolute fortune. And that would just be to get a licence to even go near the river, never mind actually do the work. But yeah, it's just getting worse and worse. So we're kind of scared to use that field now. Also, we've got a bull in it, but he can obviously stand a wee bit higher water than a sheep could. So yeah, it just, because it runs so high from the top, it really doesn't take much to tip it over the edge now. As you can see, you know, that rose so quickly today. But like I say, hopefully that's the rain off now, so hopefully it'll start to drop and it'll start to go back in over the river again. I should say this is nowhere near as bad as what I've seen it before. You know, we've seen it right across that field, and there would only be a tiny little bit for Razzle to stand in, so this is nothing really compared to what it could be. Obviously you can see here straw has not been baled. We cannot get a dry spell to get it baled. We were very lucky that we even got the barley cut the day we did. But it's going to be a challenge now to get this straw dried, to get it baled, to get the straw home, to be able to use it. This year has just been shocking. It's just constantly been against us. Everything's late, everything's worse, everything's soaking. Like the cows we're feeding the cows outside, they're making a mess now, so they're going to have to come in, but we can't get them in until we get the barley bruised. So it's a cycle, but like I was saying, I'm glad we don't have malting, because then we could have been delayed even longer for taking the cows in. If we take them in now, it makes for a long winter too. So, but it's so flipping cold today, and it's only just stopped raining in like the last half an hour. It was pretty much horizontal before that. So yep, I think winter is not far away, unfortunately. And it is absolutely freezing cold. There's snow on the tops of the hills this morning, so yeah, winter is definitely not far away now. This week, I've got a busy week. Hopefully going to get that barley bruised, and then we can get the cows inside, because they are fairly just starting to make a mess now. It's getting so wet. Well, it has been, but somehow it seems to be getting worse. So they're starting to make a fair mess. I'm also needing to start saving grass for tupping the main lot on as well. The teaser will be going in with the gimmers this week, so a couple of weeks from now the tups will go in with the main lot. Hopefully it'll be a wee bit drier by then, because it's just going to be another hard winter otherwise. Anyway, sorry for all the doom and gloom. That's it for this one. I hope you have enjoyed it as always. Please let me know in the comments. Also holding our open day this week with Pari, so that'll be really exciting. Hopefully I'll be able to welcome a lot of you onto the farm, and you can get a real hands-on approach with the Pari and the vino setup. So that'll be really interesting as well. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you as always, and hope you're having a wonderful Sunday.